Welcome, Dovahkiin. My name is Nacho Bidness, and that is Gragnar. And today we are in Skyrim. The Skyrim Remastered Edition came out yesterday, and I thought it would be fun to go back and load up an old save after 2+ years and just look around the homesteads that I built in Skyrim. These are that Hearthfire DLC was very obviously the genesis of the settlement system that we like so much in the Fallout 4 game. There's Lydia. She has been my constant companion through thick and thin. Been through some crazy adventures together here. I'm gonna put my helmet on real quick because I feel a little naked without it. You can see that I've got 4,500 armor rating, and when I swing my mace, although it says 114 at the top, at the bottom you can see it's actually 1,145 plus a whole bunch of magic effects. I did that without using any exploits or cheats or anything or mods because this is running on Xbox 360. So we'll talk about how to do that maybe just a tiny bit when we get to my citadel where I do all of my crafting. But here is Heljarchen Hall, and here is where my family lives. I came at night because I think the northern lights are incredibly beautiful here. Even though the game has not aged incredibly well, I'm kind of looking forward to the upgraded graphics actually in the remaster version. Don't worry, I am not changing my channel format. This will remain a Fallout 4 channel. I just thought it would be fun to take a look at what really was the genesis of that settlement system. And after this first load screen, I'll cut the others because this guy's a level 129. He's done everything. The load screens take a while. He's the head of the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, and he's the Archmage and the leader of the Companions. And I mean, if there is a faction in the game that you can join or a quest that you can do, he has done it. You may or may not remember that the central building in these homesteads was not customizable. It's identical for all of them, and it's the wings that give each place its purpose and character. That there is our bard for this location, and upstairs in all of them is the same thing with the little display case and an arcane enchanter and a few beds, and that's about it. Heljarchen Hall is my family home because there's no enemies around. The only thing that's even close by is a giant encampment up the hill, and they leave you alone if you leave them alone, so it felt like a safe place for my wife, Silja, to live, as well as the kids that we've adopted, which are Lucia, who has a pet fox, and Sophie. If you recall, there are a total of three homesteads and 3 wings each, and a total of 9 possible wing variations that can be built. So with a tiny bit of pre-planning, you can have one of everything, and that is the storage room wing, which felt like it was less scary for the kids than, say, the trophy room. This wing is dedicated to cooking, and I think the oven is a unique crafting station. I can't remember if it's anywhere else, but it lets you, I think it lets you make some things that you can't maybe make elsewhere. There's a lot of objects in here, but those are pre-placed by the game. And you should resist the temptation to pick them up, because placing objects in here is incredibly difficult and takes a ton of patience. I did a tiny bit, but not very darn much. So that's the family home for the wife and kids. Let's go take a look at the party house. Welcome to Lakeside Manor. And as I mentioned, this is a party house, so we've got a carriage here to bring guests here. I figure that this is the place where all of my Stormcloak buddies can hang out and feast. And although this dragon is a glitch and it never ever goes away, I kind of figure it's just like a hell of a trophy to have hanging out outside my house. Got my trusty steed there. The thought process behind this place is that this is a place for bragging. This is where my character can invite people to feast and to make merry and just kind of generally show off that he is in fact a badass. There's a necromancer's circle just down the hill there. We have to go down there and clean them out every once in a while, and it's the reason why this didn't feel like a safe place for the wife and kids. Got a nice porch here with a little archery range, so you can get drunk and have some archer challenges outside. Maybe do a little William Tell type stuff. Let's go inside here. So this looks pretty much the same as the last one in the entrance area, although I did take the time to go ahead and fill up the weapon racks with some kind of ghostly weapons to maybe impress the arriving guests. Some of the very little bit of object placement that I did, or in Fallout we'd call it junk decoration, is I brought back some roasted ox from my journey to Sovngarde. I figure that there is no better feast for all of my Nord brothers than meat that is essentially stolen from heaven. Upstairs, kind of the only thing to show is we've got the Archmage's robes here. So if I need to go whip those mages into shape over at the College of Winterhold, I can dress appropriately. Not really much to see up here that we didn't see before. Let's go take a look at all the wings at this location. I've got the greenhouse here because I wanted to have one at least one of my locations, and it's nice because I can actually farm ingredients that I use for my potion crafting over at my citadel. You can also farm, I think that bee was actually pushing me around. You can also farm outside the house, but this just gives you just that much more space to have planters. Man, there we go. It's got some more random weapons on the wall here, and in the back is the trophy room. You do have a little bit of choice on customization here, where you can choose which trophies to put in what locations. Obviously the dragon skull is the centerpiece of it. Another one of the very few things that I placed is Arvak's skull. I thought this was such a cool looking item that it deserved to be sitting out where it could be seen. The last wing here is the armory, which again is just kind of a place to brag. That's weird. That mannequin is supposed to be on that pedestal. Let's see what happens if I... Strange. Hey, it's a Bethesda game, right? It's gonna have glitches, like these swords used to be in that weapon rack. Got Ysgrimor's shield there. Somewhere around here I've got Ysgrimor's soup spoon, which is actually a fork because Ysgrimor was such a badass that he ate soup with a fork. Got some stall room armor there from the Dragonborn DLC, and I think that was also a thing that I placed, that Initiate's Viewer. As well as some other just random bits of weapons and armor. Got some arrows here from Dawnguard that you can use to turn the sun on and off when you've got Ariel's bow. That was, if you remember, one of the main MacGuffins from Dawnguard. I like the way this Ancient Falmer armor looked. I don't know why I never bothered to actually improve it any. And as well as just got yet another set of Daedric armor, as well as some other legendary weapons and stuff floating around here. Let's go take a look in the basement. Again, not much in the way of customization that we can do here. I must have done this place just after Dawnguard, because there's a lot of Dawnguard stuff sitting around on the walls, like those crossbows. Got shrines to the 9 divines, and we have some Dawnguard heavy armor, and a blacksmith shop in the back. Again, just a place to kind of feast and show all my friends in the Stormcloaks a good time, and maybe brag just a little bit. Let's go look at my citadel. Welcome to my citadel. This is a place where really no one else is allowed. And that is with the one exception of Brilliana. She is my steward here. She's from the College of Winterhold, and for some reason she's decided to just mine the hell out of that clay. No reason for it. The place, as you can see, is already completely built. This is an isolated place, which is definitely what I wanted, because when we go inside we're going to see that this is something that you would not want the other citizens of Skyrim to know about. The unique feature of this settlement, or sorry, this homestead, is that it's got a fish farm, and there are certainly plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to use it. Let's go ahead and go inside and take a look at why we don't want anyone else to know about this place. This is the same interior that we've got in all the other ones for this main area, but this wing over here is the library, and I took the time to only put quest books and skill books in here, so there's really not like random books clogging the shelves here. It is a place of gathered arcane knowledge that is really a treasure trove. In fact, up here, more skill books and stuff, but we've also got a pretty impressive collection of spell books. I think that this might be a copy of every spell book in the game, which would require that I actually got 2 of everything. If you remember, when you read a spell book in Skyrim, it's consumed, and so it's only when you have 2 of them you can do something like this, where you've got them all stored and organized by school, and then further sub-organized by alphabetical order. Hopefully Lydia will come on. Lydia, there we go. Really not much else to see up here in the main part but what is worth noting is the upper floor of the alchemy tower. And I mentioned that I had built this epic gear without using any mods or exploits because I'm on console. There is an exploit that you can use on console, but it made the game just way too easy. With this gear, I can still occasionally die if I'm not careful. And the way to make gear like this is to start off by creating some fortify enchanting potions. Use those to make some fortify alchemy gear. Use the alchemy gear to make even stronger fortify enchanting potions, which then you use to make even stronger alchemy gear. And you loop that, and you can't do it infinitely. There is diminishing returns, but if you do everything just right, you can get up to 195% improvement in smithing and 49% improvement on enchantments. Obviously, it takes a number of perks to do this, and I'm not going to go into all the details because that might actually be worth its own tutorial video. But to really attain the highest possible level of power, you have to become a vampire. You have to use the black books from the Dragonborn DLC, and you have to use Acid Hall's gear, which has the only fortify enchantment bonus on any item in the game. If you're wearing the boots and any 4 additional pieces of this gear, you can get plus 10 enchanting. And when it's all said and done, you are left with a unique pickaxe, which you can get at the top of the, oh, I forgot what it's called, the big mountain in the middle of the map, which increases your smithing abilities. I think it's called Nacho's pickaxe until I renamed it here. And you can build some armor that gets you 39% more powerful potions and 39% better armor. Or excuse me, blacksmithing. Bonus points to anyone who recognizes Fëanor and understands why it's not actually appropriate to name Dwarven armor after Fëanor. So as troublesome as anyone in Skyrim would find all that stuff, it's really the basement that has kind of the worst of the worst. And I have gone and kept talking over the load screen. Whoops. Okay, so we're here in the basement, and I've got these safes that are full of gems. I just never bothered to sell them, and even so, I've still got like 1.9 million gold. Money has ceased to have any meaning for this character. We've also got everything we need to blacksmith stuff down here. And we've got... I kept all the unique items that I picked up along the way down here, as well as a collection of all the masks and artifacts from the different dragon priests. But really, the thing that is going to get us in a lot of trouble is that this character has a very large collection of Daedric artifacts down here. And that would probably be something that that would get him burned at the stake. So we've got the Mask of Clavicus Vile and a couple of different rings from the Daedra, and then this wall over here is a wall of Daedric weapons, and all of this is enough evidence that anybody in Skyrim would say this guy needs to die. There we go. That is my little tour of the homesteads in Skyrim and the prototypes, really, I think, for what Bethesda did with the build mode in Fallout 4. I think the popularity of the Hearthfire DLC is what directly led to settlement building in Fallout 4. So next video we'll be back in Fallout, and if you have an interest in doing a tutorial on how to get the absolute best weapons and armor in this game, leave a comment down below. I'll think about doing that. Otherwise, if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe. If you didn't like, please tell me why down in the comments, and I will try and do better next time. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm looking forward to having fun in Skyrim all over again.